Hello students, how are you? I hope all are you fine. Now, this is the first chapter of physics, that is basic mathematics. I started a new series for the students who are studying in class 11th, class 12th, NEET and JEE. This topic is based on basic mathematics and this is the first topic of physics. And this question is arising in your mind that why we are studying about basic mathematics. Actually, basic mathematics is the basic of physics. Is the basic of physics to understand the concept and to solve the numerical problems in physics. So, in the mathematics, the level is high of the topics, but in physics, the level is average, and there are many concepts of mathematics and formulas of mathematics that is used in physics also. So we are required to read about this topic, that is basic mathematics. In this we will study about some topics. The first is the function, the second is the trigonometry, the third is the differentiation, the fourth is the integration, and the fifth is the graph. Okay, so let's start. Okay students, so our first topic is function. So we will study about the function, what is the function, how the function is described, where will the function will use. So we can see here, function is the relation between two variables in which one is dependent and another is independent. You can see here there is a definition of function. Function is the relation between two variables in which one is the dependent and another is independent. That means what is the function? Suppose we have two variables. One variable is dependent variable, that means it is depend on the other, and the one variable is independent. It does not depend on any other terms. The relation between two variables in these two variables is called function. As you can see here, there is a block. In this block, f is written and f represents the function. The x is here, x is the input which is going in the function as an input, and the function processed this input and provide the output fx equals to y. So what is the function? Function is the process in which the x is provided as input. So after the processing in the function of input x, we get the output fx is equals to y. Fx is also called function of x. I represented this terminology in another aspect. As you can see here, the output equals to function bracket input. That means we provide the input as in the function, and function process it and give the output. Here input is the independent term because input may be everything, but the output is not independent term. Output is dependent term because as we provide the input, that will give the output like as input. So output is the dependent term. Okay, let's move further. I explained it by a practical example. Here in this example, there is a flour mill. Flour mill is the function. Grain is the input and flour is the output. As grain is going into flour mill process the grain, and after it we get the flour. Here grain is the independent term and flour is the dependent term. How? Grain may be anything. means it may be wheat or millet or any other grain, but floor is the dependent term because as we provide the grain, according to the grain we get the output in the form of flour. Okay, so floor is the dependent term and grain is the independent term. I hope you get it. Now we move further. Now we move to the second example. Here I have written y equals to fx equals to sin x. Here sin represent the function and here x is represent as a input. So when the sine function process the x, we get the output fx. Here the second example, the second function is x square plus 2x plus 1. Here x is the input and y is the output. Is it clear to you? Now we move further. The next topic is trigonometry. What is the trigonometry? We discuss about it. Here you can see the first word tri and the second word gonometry. Tri represent the 3 and gonometry represent the geometry. So we can read the definition. Trigonometry is a branch of mathematics that studies relationship between side length and angle of triangle. That means it is the geometrical function which represent that there is a geometry of 3 sides and angle. There is a geometry of 3 sides and angle. How can we understand it? Let's see in the figure. There is a triangle. You can see there are 3 sides and there are 3 points O, A and B, and R is the distance between O and A. There is a observer at the point O which observe that there is a car at point A is moving from point A to B. We can assume that A to B is the curve of the circle. So the car move from A to B and make the curve, and which is also called the arc. As it move from A to B, the distance does not change. It will remain same, R and R, as O to A or O to B. As it moving from A to B, it create the angle theta. So what is the relation between angle theta, arc AB, and the distance from observer and the car R is, it is given by the formula angle equals to arc upon radius equals to A arc upon R. This formula represents the relation between the side and the angle and the arc. Here we can represent it theta equals to AB arc upon R radian. What is the radian? Here radian is the unit of angle. There are 2 units of angle, radian and degree. As we measure the length by meter or centimeter, same as we can measure the angle theta as radian or degree. So there are 2 units of angle. The first one is radian and the second one is degree. Okay, but what is the relation between radian and degree? I have written here that 2 pi radian is equals to 360 degree. That means 2 pi radian is same as 360 degree. How can we understand it? Let's suppose here is the point O and there is a person which move in a circle and reach at the same point where it start. So it complete in a circle the angle is 2 pi radian, and in degree it complete this angle 360. Okay, here we can find the relation between radian and degree. 1 radian is equals to 360 upon 2 pi degree equals to 180 upon pi degree. Okay, same as 1 degree is equals to pi upon 180 radian. Okay, now let's move further. Here we can write it 1 degree is equals to pi upon 180 radian. Okay, in short form. And we have taken here two examples. The first example is convert 7 degree into radian. You have to convert 7 degree into radian. How can you calculate it? You know 1 degree is equals to pi upon 180 radian. So you will multiply 180 into 70. So you will get 7 pi upon 180. Here is 0 will not come. The answer is 7 pi upon 18 radian. Now let's we move to other example. Convert 3 pi upon 4 radian into degree. So how can we find radian into degree? We know 1 radian is equals to 180 upon pi degree. We know 1 radian is equals to 180 upon pi degree. So we multiply it 1 upon 80 upon pi degree into 3 pi upon 4. So we get 135 degree. Okay, this is a simple calculation. All we can do it. Nothing is complicated in this. Let's we see the another concept. The concept is about the angle, the nature of angle, measurement of positive and negative angle. The angle has the nature positive and negative, but how it will be? Let's see the first figure. In this figure, there is an angle moving in anti-clockwise direction and we take it positive. How your clock will move? The clock will move like S, but we have to move in the opposite direction like S, and this direction is called anti-clockwise direction and we take positive angle in this direction. Now let's move to other figure. In this second figure we move in clockwise direction, so we get the angle minus theta. When we move in clockwise direction we take the angle minus theta, and when we move in anti-clockwise direction we take the angle theta. Now let's move on the next topic, that is some basic trigonometric functions. We have to analyze trigonometric function. There are 6 basic trigonometric functions, but before we discuss about them we have to analyze the triangle that is given here. Here two triangles are given. In the first triangle there is adjacent x, opposite x and hypotenuse r. Adjacent x, opposite y and hypotenuse r. There are 3 sides of this triangle and there is a angle theta between hypotenuse and adjacent. Similar here I made a second triangle. In the second triangle there is the base which is equal to the adjacent, perpendicular equal to the opposite, and hypotenuse is the third side. Okay, so this is not any other triangle, this is similar, these are the similar triangles. Okay, now we can move our first function, that is sine. Our first function of trigonometry is sine. We can write here sine theta. Here sine is the function and theta is the input. Sine is the function and theta is the input, and it represents the ratio of two sides, that means opposite upon hypotenuse, that are opposite upon hypotenuse, and we can say it is y upon r. Move to the next function, cosine. It is called as cos theta. It is the ratio of adjacent and hypotenuse, where is the adjacent is x, hypotenuse r, and it is called x upon r. Okay, so move to the next function. The next function is tangent. It is also called tan theta. Theta is the input and tan is the function. It is represented by opposite upon adjacent equals to y upon x. Now let's move to the next function, that is cosecant. Cosecant function is called as cosec theta, and it is represented by hypotenuse upon opposite, or we can say r upon y. The next function is secant. Secant is defined as sec theta, and we call it hypotenuse upon adjacent, or it is represented by r upon x. The next function is cotangent. Cotangent is called as cot theta, and it is represented by adjacent upon opposite equals to x upon y. So we can find the sixth function here, and we can find the relations of every side to the other side by these six functions. Okay, is it clear to you? Now we move further. There is an interesting thing, that is every three function is reciprocal to every three function. We can take the first function is sine theta, that is reciprocal of cosec theta. We can see here sin theta equals to y upon r and cosec theta equals to r upon y. That means sin theta is reciprocal to cosec theta, and we can write here cosec theta is equal to 1 upon sin theta. Okay, same as the next function is cosine or cos theta. It represented by x upon r, and it is reciprocal of secant or sec theta. We can see here the cos theta equals to x upon r and sec theta equals to r upon x. So we can write here sec theta is equals to 1 upon cos theta. It is clear to you? Now we can take another function, that is tangent, represented by tan theta. It is the reciprocal of cotangent or cot theta. We can see here that means tan theta equals to y upon x and cot theta equals to x upon y. So we can write here 1 upon tan theta. Now we can move to the next step or next topic, which is the cast rule. What is the cast rule? To understand it, we have given a diagram here, and in this diagram there are two axes, one is x and one is y. Okay, there are four quadrants: first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant, and each quadrant has its own properties. That means every function has its own properties in each quadrant. Okay, now I written here all positive. That means all positive means all the six functions are positive in first quadrant. No function will be negative in the first quadrant. In the second quadrant, only two functions are there which is positive. First is sine and the another is cosec theta. First is sin theta and the another is cosec theta. There are two functions which will be positive in second quadrant. In third quadrant, tan theta and cot theta both will be positive, because tan theta and cot theta are the reciprocal to each other, and in the second quadrant sin theta and cos theta are reciprocal to each other. Okay, now let's we move to fourth quadrant. In fourth quadrant, cos theta is positive and the reciprocal of cos theta is sec theta. That means sec theta and cosec theta both are positive in fourth quadrant. So in each quadrant, two functions are positive and another are negative. To understand it, I have written the short form to remember this concept. This is ASTC. What is the meaning of ASTC? A for all, S for sin theta, T for tan theta, and C for cos theta. Okay. To remember this, I formed a short trick. As we can see here, A stands for all, S for students, T for take, or C for coffee. All students take coffee. You can remember here, all students take coffee. Okay. So as I already said to you that all students take coffee, then please take coffee and be relaxed. Okay. Now let's move further. Here is the table in which there are 6 functions and the angle is given, that is angle A, and A is provided as an input in various functions, sin theta, cos theta, tan, cot. Now there are different values of angle A, like as 0 degree, 30 degree, 45, 60 and 90. As we put the value of 0 degree in sin A, then we get sin 0 degree equals to 0. When we put 30 degree in sin, then we can say sin 30 degree equals to 1 by 2, sin 45 equals to 1 by root 2. Now we move to the tan A, tan 0 degree equals to 0, tan 30 degree equals to 1 by root 3, tan 45 equals to 1, and tan 60 degree equals to root 3, and tan 90 degree equals to not defined. What is the meaning of not defined? The meaning of not defined is infinite, that we cannot define the infinite term. Okay. Now we move to the cot function, that means cot A. When we put the value of cot 0, that we can say it is not defined. Not defined means cot 0 degree equals to infinity. And why it is infinity? Because as we write the reciprocal formula of cot theta, we can write here cot theta equals to 1 upon tan theta. When the tan 0 equals to 0, then 1 upon 0 becomes infinity. So cot 0 equals to infinity. Is it clear to you? Now we can see here all the 6 functions and we move further. As you can see here, there is a next table and we will understand it. There is the angle alpha and there are 6 functions are there, and alpha is the input provided in these functions. If we put the value minus theta as alpha, then we can see sin minus theta equals to minus sin theta, cos minus theta equals to cos theta. You have to remember these terms. Okay, you have to remember these values. If we provide alpha minus theta in tan theta, then we can say minus tan theta. Now we will talk about the next angle, that is 90 minus theta. What about the 90 minus theta? As we put 90 minus theta in sine function, then we can see that it is cos theta. And 90 minus theta represent that the function is in first quadrant. When the function is in first quadrant, then no function will be negative, all functions are positive. As we can see here, the sign, as we can see here, all functions are positive. Now move to the next angle, 90 plus theta. As we can see here, 90 plus theta represent the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant only sin theta or cos theta are positive. So here sin theta is positive, or where is the cos theta? Cos theta in the last, it becomes sec theta, so it is also positive. Baki and all the other functions are negative. Now move to the next function, 180 minus theta. 180 minus theta represent the second quadrant. In second quadrant, again sin theta and cos theta are positive and all other functions are negative. Now move the next, 180 plus theta. In the condition of 180 plus theta, we are in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, tan theta and cot theta are positive and all the other functions are negative. Now move to the other angle, 360 minus theta. In the condition of 360 minus theta, only cos theta or sec theta are positive, as we can see according to the cast rule, and all the other functions are negative. For 360 plus theta, we again move to the first quadrant. So in the first quadrant, all the functions are positive. Is it clear to you? Now move forward. There are some basic rules which work in this table. What are the rules to define these terms? We will discuss about it. Let's discuss. For example, we write here sin n pi by 2 plus minus theta bracket close. Okay, in this condition we can see here pi by 2 is equal to the 90 degree. Pi by 2 is in radian and 90 is in degree. Okay, and n is any number. If n is odd number like 1, 3, 5, then function will be changed. If n is the even number, then function will not change. How can see? If we put the value n equals to 1, then there is an odd number, and in this condition the angle becomes pi by 2 plus minus theta, and in this condition the sign convert into cos theta. Is it clear to you? Suppose if we put n equals to 2, then 2 cancel 2 and we get the angle pi plus minus theta. Then in this condition there is no change in the function. Sign will become only minus sin theta. If we put pi plus theta, and if we put pi minus theta, then sign will the sign will give the output positive sin theta. Is it clear to you? Now this is the concept of angles, when the function will change and when is the function will not change. If number n equals to odd, then function will change. If n is even, then function will not change. Now we move forward and talk about the trigonometric function identities. The first identity we can see, quotient identities. Tan theta equals to sin theta upon cos theta, cot theta equals to cos theta upon sin theta. You have to remember or learn all these terms. It is mandatory to learn these terms. Now we move to the other identities. The next identity is reciprocal identities. What are the reciprocal identities? Sin theta equals to 1 upon cosec theta, cosec theta equals to 1 upon sin theta. These terms we have discussed earlier, and we move next to the Pythagorean identities. What are the Pythagorean identities? You know the Pythagoras theorem. What is the Pythagoras theorem? A square plus b square equals to c square, where a is the base, b is the perpendicular, and c is the hypotenuse. Same as you can put these values and we can find the trigonometric functions. You have to learn all these identities. It is mandatory to you. So first is sin square theta plus cos square theta equals to 1. Second is sec square theta minus tan square theta equals to 1. Third is cosec square theta minus cot square theta equals to 1. These terms interrelated to each other. How? We can see here. In the first equation, if we divide sin square theta, in the first equation, if we divide cos square theta, then we can write the second equation. As we divide first equation by sin square theta, then we get third equation. Cos square theta minus cot square theta equals to 1. Okay, is it clear to you? Now we can move to the other identities, that is even odd identities. We have discussed these identities before, so now we move forward to the other identities. Let's see. The next identity is cofunction identities. Sin pi by 2 minus theta equals to cos theta. These identities we have already discussed. Now we can move further. Some difference identities. As we can see here, we add or subtract the angles in these identities. As we can see here, we have written sin theta plus minus phi equals to sin theta cos phi plus minus cos theta sin phi. In these identities, we have add or subtract the angles. Now we move forward. Double angle identities. What are the double angle identities? Double angle means we have double the angles. How? As we put the angle phi equals to theta, then it will become sin 2 theta. As we put theta at the place of phi in term sin theta cos phi, then it will become 2 sin theta cos theta, as you can see in this term. Okay, now as you can see, cos theta plus minus phi equals to cos theta cos phi plus minus sin theta sin phi. As we put theta at the place of phi, then we can measure all the equations by some different identities. Now move further. We can define half angle identities. So how can we get half angle identities? The identities are related to each other. We can see here this half angle identity related to double angle identity. This cos square theta identity is related to this identity. That means these formulas are not different. As we interchange the functions, we get different formulas in different forms. So don't be worry about them, but practice them. Now move further. Sum to product of two angles. What is the meaning sum to product of two angles? As we seen before, we add two angles to each other, but in these we add two different functions to each other. So as we move forward, product to sum of two angles, we multiply two different functions to each other, and these have different formulas, so you have to learn all these formulas. It is mandatory to you to learn these formulas, to prepare some concept about it and practice about it. If you didn't get any information, or you feel that something is left from my side, or you didn't getting it understand, then please tell me in the comment. I will give the answers. Please ask me. I am here to help you. Okay students, So if you find it useful, then please like, subscribe, share and press the bell icon to get the notification of other videos. Thank you very much.